Hi YouTube, welcome to Calf Chats. I just saw Blur live and they were so good.
Okay, so let's start off with a bit of personal context here. Blur was the first band I remember loving. Back when I was a wee nipper, my brother bought a copy of Tender, and I remember listening to that extensively. Back then I wasn't used to songs being 8 minutes long, and I probably had the attention span of a goldfish, but that song stuck with me, and it always has. Not only Tender, but I remember playing FIFA Road to World Cup 98, and Song 2 was the main song off of it. Then there's the Coffee and TV video where you have that adorable little milk carton. Point is, Blur have a very special place in my heart, and I've never seen them live before. I've seen Gorillaz, but I've never seen Blur. So I knew this gig was going to be something really special, and it so was. So Blur announced a brand new album in February called The Magic Whip, with some subsequent shows including the headline set at Isle of Wight, as well as the British Summertime Festival in Hyde Park. And then at the start of May, they announced that they'd be doing some warm-up shows, including one in Blackpool, which is in driving distance for me, so I got myself a ticket straight away. It was at the Empress Ballroom, which has a capacity of about 3,000 people. That sounds like a lot, but the O2 in London holds about 20,000. And considering it's, well, Blur, this looks set to be a super intimate gig, all things considered. Looking at previous set lists, I was really worried that it would just be all Magic Whip material, and as much as I like that album, I've been aching for this gig as long as I can remember, so call me selfish, but I'm gonna want to hear some bangers. So fast forward to the gig. Blur hit the stage at 9 o'clock with Damon wearing these cheesy, touristy Blackpool shades, and they go right into Go Out. The first single from the new album, and maybe it was the particularly bouncy floor, but the entire venue just came alive. Everyone around me singing along to that vocal riff that dominates throughout the track. It must be quite endearing to see your fans singing along and going nuts to your brand new material. There's always that fear of sonically steering away too much from your old stuff, and then ending up alienating your audience. But that's not the case with the Magic Whip. As progressive as it is still very much a Blur album. So Go Out finishes, and in comes the opening of There's No Other Way, the first classic of the evening. 2 minutes in, disaster strikes. It turns out that the crowd went a little bit too nuts and the barrier at the front broke. After an awkward minute or so with some small talk, the band went off stage for about 5 minutes so that the barrier could get fixed. Did it dampen the crowd's spirits? Hell no. Although I did hear one mod shouting, "This wouldn't happen at an Oasis gig." Fuck off, you spent 40 quid to chat shit, that's just sad. So they come back on after 5 minutes and they finish off the song. So the gig continues with this amazing back and forth. Damon has absolutely incredible stage presence, occasionally coming right up close to the audience on the same barrier that broke about 10 minutes ago. For the next 9 or so songs, you have some fairly down-tempo tracks from the new album, like My Terracotta Heart, I Thought I Was a Spaceman. But that's not to say it was boring. It was encapsulating to see Alex, Damon, Graham and Dave just riffing off each other like I imagine they used to in the old days. Littered among this section was the occasional banger as well, like Coffee and TV. Before long, the sound that I've been dying to hear for years finally kicked in, and I got to hear the dead notes that open up Beetlebum. A massive, heart-wrenching sing-along tune. And what do they follow it up with? Only Tender. There's a certain feeling that I can't describe when you're watching one of your favourite bands, and not only are they playing song after song that you know, but they're songs that you adore and you have done for years. After another new one, Ong Ong, which is probably my favourite song off of Magic Whip, comes in the classic Part Life. I think this ranks at number 2 on the list of songs to lose your shit to at a Blur gig. Then, coincidentally enough, number 1 in that list came right after. Dave Rowntree opened up song 2 with this slow tempo, building up and up and up, while Damon leads the chant of "Airway, airway, here we f***ing go." Right before Graham comes in with that saucy opening riff. And then it just kicks off, as it would. It's song 2, for God's sake. It's the woo-hoo song. Then they throw in 2 more belters of To The End and This Is a Low to round it off before leaving the stage. Returning for the encore, they made a quick apology about the kerfuffle at the start of it with the barrier, and then they kick into Great Escape opener, Stereotypes. So here's me loving life to this gig, but realising that this gig is nearly over. And then the opening riff of Girls and Boys comes in, and everybody starts jumping and down, almost in synchronization. Whether or not it was didn't matter. Everybody was just going nuts, as they should. What followed? For Tomorrow. It was rad. And then what track do Blur go to close off this wonderful set? Couldn't be anything else really, could it? The Universal. With its big orchestral choruses, a massive anthem to close it off. You couldn't really end it with anything else, to be honest. You can save money by switching to British Gas. So the house lights come on, and there's me stood there, sweaty as anything. Not entirely sure what to do with myself. I just ticked off something massive off my bucket list. I think for like 5 minutes, I just didn't feel like I had any more purpose in life. I'd seen Blur live. How can you top that? Not only did I see Blur live, but I saw them in this tiny venue, and they played nearly every song that I could have wanted them to play. Perfect gig. Couldn't be happier. I thought I'd try and hang around by stage door afterwards to try and grab that sweet, sweet selfie for all those juicy Facebook likes. But they came out, signed a few things for like a minute, and then hopped onto the minibus. So I couldn't say hi, but fair play, they're busy guys. But the real winner here is Knife and Fork Factory. Because in the last instant before they shut the minibus's door, with ninja-like precision and timing, I managed to fling one of our business cards onto the center of it. We're really out here, fam. Guerrilla marketing at its finest. But anyway, the gig was superb. I couldn't fault it at all. I had fun doing this review. Obviously, it's the first gig review that I've done, but I'm seeing quite a few bands over the next few months, so I thought I'd try and do a few more of them. So make sure you hit that dirty subscribe button to see them when they come out. There sadly won't be a part life video because monopods aren't allowed. Gutted. I had a bunch of fun at Part Life though. Jungle were absolutely insane, even if I did leave that set looking like an absolute lobster. So I'll see you next Saturday, YouTube. Remember to catch us on the socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Soundcloud. All the links are down below, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll give you a really big hug if you do.